So as you can see, everything is closed right now. The festival of Ramadan, the holy month of Ramadan, ended yesterday evening, and this celebration is called al-Fitr. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced, but basically everybody is now celebrating the end of the holy month, and they're visiting their family and friends, and they have all very nice clothes on, and they're very nice and kind to each other, and they're just taking this time off to simply celebrate. So even the shops that were open during Ramadan, like clothes shop and supermarket, like everything is closed today. Only a few restaurants for tourists are open, and basically we had no idea, but enjoy your end of Ramadan, or how they call it, Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak. Happy end of Ramadan. So after a wonderful noon walk around the modern part of Marrakesh, Wali's neighborhood where we are staying, we came to the conclusion that all supermarkets are closed, which was obvious from the beginning, but we were still, wanted to see for ourselves. It got really sunny and hot meanwhile, so we decided that on our way home we will try to walk in the shades as much as possible. And right now we are taking a break right under this palm tree, and we are gonna walk ourselves home from palm tree to palm tree after this well-deserved rest. Yes, so now I completely understand those locals that were just sitting under a palm tree and resting for a while, because I feel like I want to do the same.
I found a ring. It doesn't actually have its stone anymore, but I've read stories about places like these, and I want my 3 wishes.
Yes, but your ring doesn't have a stone.
Stone isn't important, it's a wish ring.
Can we see it? Okay.
Huh?
Yes, it's amazing. So just a heads up before you start commenting on this video, this was filmed in April 2022, and this is what the celebrations after Ramadan looked like. This was the first evening after the Ramadan had finished. So later that day we saw a lot of agitation on the streets, so we decided to go in the Medina and see if there's anything happening over there, because clearly we've never seen so many people on the streets during our 1 month trip there in Marrakesh. So we basically just walked all the way to the center, which was a 30-40 minute walk from our apartment, and this is what we found. This is the famous mosque that you can see from the center of Marrakesh with the tallest minaret tower in town, and this is where everybody was gathering with their families. There were a lot of children, people were in the mosque praying outside, and I didn't want to film it because there were some kids involved, but Eddie got assaulted by some kids asking for candy or stuff. It was really hilarious. And then we moved on to the main square after witnessing all the agitation here. To be honest, it was a great feeling of joyfulness. So it was really safe. There were families, children. It really felt like a huge festival was going on, and it was simply beautiful. Everybody was super friendly and nice, even to us. It was very, very nice. But as you can see, there is a lot of traffic, so getting here by taxi, bus, or car was almost impossible, so that's why we decided to walk. And this is the crossing to the main square, and this is the main square in Marrakesh. You can see there are so many people. We've never seen so many people crowded in this square. It was crazy. So I believe this was the moment when one of them won something and his friend shouted to come back. This is the game that a lot of the young boys were playing. It's some sort of gambling on the street. So we are in the main square in Marrakesh, and today is the end of Ramadan, and it looks like there's a big celebration. Like they have all sorts of festivities going on. And he says it's like yes, attraction park, but more rustic and custom, and they have all kinds of stuff. And here people are waiting to win. It's really hard to describe this game. They basically just throw a coin, and if they land the coin on one of the numbers, then they get the value multiplied. And people got like really into it because at the beginning, like a few minutes ago, there were only like a few people. Now there's a huge crowd. Yeah, I think somebody won like a lot. And over here, they are fishing for Coke bottles, which is, I don't know why they do that, but they seem to be having a lot of fun. As you can see, there is a true festival going on. There are people of all ages and origins walking around. There are so many games going on, street games. People are engaging in all sorts of I don't know what this is, luck games I've never seen before, but here they were very popular. And yeah, it's like a fair, but made by the people, for the people. There was nothing organized by the officials, but even so, people were having great time. And we walked around just to see how they were having fun. This game, I think it was some sort of fishing game in which they could win the bottles of soda, the beverages line. Edward, what do you say of today's activities or festivities?
Very engaging. Yeah, people are very happy. It's like 4th of July. We don't have 4th of July. It's like New Year's.
Or Christmas.
Or Christmas. Yeah, all rolled into one.
Especially the game, the bottle game.
But without any booze or stimulants, which is odd. But you know, people are doing okay. So that's what's
What really struck me was that even the food stalls were much crowded than usual, and there weren't just foreigners or a few locals. There were a lot of locals eating here, a lot of locals trying new foods. There were some traditional snacks that they were having. It was completely different than what you would have seen in a regular night before this. So do know that, and if you're here in Marrakesh during the first day after the Ramadan ends, then do make sure you're in the Medina, because it's just a different and special kind of festival and vibe and celebration. It just, you need to be there. It's a must see. There were a lot of locals, especially young boys here in the Medina eating, and what I really like is that the vendors were always putting up a show for the people. It was always such a great vibe, and the displays are really nice. However, I'm kind of afraid of eating street food because I had food poisoning in the past, so that's a personal trauma that I cannot overcome to this day. But in the end, a local vendor that convinced me to try something. So at some point, Eddie lost me in the crowd, and then he found me here with this tea. So I got one for both of us, and it was spicy. Although I tried a lot of snacks in Morocco, I never seen this one in particular, so this one drew my attention. Well, I don't have the exact name of the dessert. I'm guessing this would be the cello, which is some typical traditional Moroccan dessert, which combines ground sesame, toasted flour, toasted almonds, and sweet honey. It was rather powdery and very dense, although good, but very filling, and I remember that I couldn't finish my entire serving. We also walked a bit around the main square, and how most of the streets leading to the square were actually blocked by vendors. People were still buying all sorts of goods like new clothes and shoes and everything nice for their families, just to be ready for the celebration. So basically there was no other means of transportation other than walking around, because everything was full and blocked, and we went around the entire square just to see everything that was happening. It was super safe, and other than just being aware of your surroundings and the people driving their scooters around, everything was actually very safe. In the video it looks darker than it was in real life, because I was filming this with my phone. Actually, I did not realize there would be such a great festival celebration going on. And I didn't bring my camera with me for this trip in the Medina, but turns out I was missing out on a huge celebration. That's why I decided to film this entire thing with my phone. And I guess that you can clearly see all the agitation and all the games and all the good vibes going on. And even if you don't understand what they're saying, the locals seem to be having a great time, and it's really fun to watch for you as a foreigner as well. Another highlight of this walk around the Medina here is that no vendor was trying to sell us anything or to attract us to their stall. We were pretty much left on our own to just watch and absorb everything, observe the games and the locals. So for the first time I felt free to actually see what was going on, because on a regular day, unfortunately, most of the vendors here are keen on attracting tourists, selling them all sorts of photos with the monkey or with the snail, or unfortunately other attractions that are not of interest to me. But this evening in particular left me a very wonderful vibe, because they were not minding us at all and we were not the only tourists around. So from that point of view, I was actually enjoying myself just to be able to admire everything that was going on around me. So that's quite a different vibe than the usual vibe you get in this square. I don't want to offend anybody, but it is what it is, and this is by far one of the most touristic places in North Africa. So they are trying to get your attention when they notice that you're a foreigner, and this was not the case during this evening, and I was actually relieved. After all that walking around, we decided to go home. It was much too crowded and too loud, and we couldn't sit anywhere to get something to eat. So we took the bus because it was very crowded, and the taxi would have, well, it was impossible to take a taxi anyway, but it would have been probably overpriced. And the bus, although it was crowded, was still running, and it wasn't crowded in the bus. Fortunately for us, as you can see, it was not crowded, and we eventually got home. So this was a video of the last day of Ramadan, or actually the day after Ramadan had ended in 2022. Thank you for watching, and I hope this inspires you to go and visit Morocco as soon as possible.